Stephanie Denman here from the Denman Homestead, and I know it's been a minute since I've been in my kitchen because I have been in the garden and I need to take a break from the garden. So I thought I would show you a really simple craft that you can do at home with a lot of the same ingredients that I have used in my previous crafts with you guys. So if you notice a common theme about some of these things that I do, you'll realize that you can reuse a lot of these same ingredients just in different consistencies and different measurements to create new products. So for example, like the chapstick, soap making, beard balm, which we haven't gotten to yet, which I will do. A lot of those ingredients you can just repurpose in different amounts to create different things. And today, I'm so excited to share with you a lotion bar. And I have to tell you how I created this, how it even came to be for me. I wasn't even planning on making lotion bars. And I don't know, do you guys know Bob Ross? So maybe people who are not from the States, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he's world famous, but Bob Ross was a super awesome, super chill dude from like the 80s and 90s. He was probably around before that, but that's when I grew up, was the 80s. So I can remember my mom having a little sketch pad, and she would have on like PBS or something where this awesome dude with this like massive fro was with his little easel and his little paintbrushes, and he would be painting trees, and it would just be the most calming. If you had high blood pressure, watch Bob Ross. You can even rewatch Bob Ross now. Like, Bob Ross is awesome. Anyway, he just had this like calming sense about him, but he would teach you how to paint. And I just remember my mom having this little sketch pad, and she would always try to do his little sketches. But one thing that stuck out for me with Bob Ross was that he would talk about happy little accidents. And this was my happy little accident Bob Ross moment, because I was going to make my own deodorant, which I have done before, and I will also share that in an upcoming video. But I had ordered the stuff, the supplies to make deodorant, and when I got in my deodorant tubes, I guess I just didn't realize, but they were like, I was like, what is this? How much? The tiniest deodorant tube. I had no idea they even made tubes this small. I mean, so tiny. But I was like, I can't make, I mean, maybe travel size deodorant, but I was like trying to make deodorant for like a daily use wear. And I was like, no, I cannot make deodorant with these tubes. So I was like, what can I do with these tubes? I didn't want to send them back. I thought they were super cute. I was like, what can I do with these? And then it dawned on me, I was like, I could make lotion in bar form and then just put it in these tubes and rub it on your skin. And I'm not kidding you. I think out of all of the things that I've made in the past, maybe not all, I mean, but I get really a lot of compliments on these lotion tubes. People have asked me, hey, do you have any more lotion tubes? Because I've given them out for Christmas gifts in the past, and, you know, just other little gift basket things. But lotion tubes are a big hit, and they're so simple to make. If you don't want to buy these tubes, which I understand if you're, you know, want to maybe just be a little bit more environmentally friendly, or you don't necessarily want these tubes but something else, you can do those little metal tins. You can also do like a silicone mold, like a small little silicone mold, and just pour the liquid ingredients in your mold and pop it out, and then just set it like on a tray or something. But what's really cool about these two is that you can actually put them in full-size deodorant sticks as well, or in any size container. But because they're a solid, you could also bring them like on an airplane. A lot of times when you have like liquids, like liquid lotions and things like that, you can't travel, you know, there's certain amounts that you can travel with, but these are travel safe, they're solid form. And yeah, so we're gonna melt together 3 ingredients, and that is going to be coconut oil right here. So, and the cool thing about this recipe too is that everything is equal parts. So you can double, triple, half it, quadruple it, whatever you want to do. But I have 4 ounces of coconut oil here. This is the, oh, my pot is boiling. Let me turn my pot off real quick. So I have 4 ounces of coconut oil. This is just the coconut oil that I used. I picked it up from the grocery store, pure coconut oil. I'm also using equal amounts of shea butter. So 4 ounces of shea butter. I've just pre-measured it into my ramekin here. This is the shea butter that I use. And look in the video description. I will link these items in the video description link, Amazon links if you would like to order online. And then I also have, and my mic quit here for some reason, but I have 4 ounces of pelleted beeswax. And I ordered that beeswax from Amazon. If you have a bar of beeswax, you can just shave it or grate it, and then measure it to be 4 ounces as well. So all equal parts. That's the beeswax that I got off of Amazon. And then here are the deodorant stick tubes. They are plastic 15 milliliter empty tubes that I ordered off of Amazon, and I will link those as well in the video description. An extra ingredient you can add is essential oils. I have this one here, and I just thought it would be a, this is called a fragrance oil, Finest Fragrance Oil, Barnhouse Blue. It came with a bunch of different scents, but this one is a honeysuckle scent, and I just thought it would be kind of a good scent for summertime or springtime because we're approaching spring. It has a floral spring scent to it. So I'm going to try this honeysuckle oil in it, and I'll just put a few drops in it after I've mixed all of my ingredients and I've taken it off the double boiler. So I'll add that in last. You can also add in like a 1/4 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of vitamin E oil if you would like to help with skin nourishment. That's totally fine to add in too. I don't have any of that. So today I'm just going to work with my 3 main ingredients and then add a few drops of essential oils to add a nice scent to my lotion bar. Also optional. So I have my scale here. I've already pre-measured everything on the scale, so I just wanted to show it that this is what I used today. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all 3 ingredients and I'm going to put them in my double boiler on the stove. So I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so on my stove I have my mason jar, my wide mouth mason jar in a pot of simmering water. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my ingredients to the mason jar and let it all melt together. It does not need to come to a boil or anything like that. You just want to make sure that it's all combined. All the ingredients are in a liquid form and combined. And I really hope you guys stay tuned until the very end because I have a pretty cool surprise I think that you guys are gonna like at the end. And if you haven't already, we would love it if you subscribed to our channel so that you get notifications for our new videos that come out. I do a lot of these cosmetic type crafts, and we're working on our garden outside for the springtime. It's a pretty big garden. It's the biggest garden we've ever done, so we are excited about that. So if you're into gardening, check out those videos as well. Now, as a reminder, if you haven't seen my other videos, whatever jar you want to use or whatever container that you want to use to make this, make sure that you're not in love with it and that you want to keep it forever, because, or you could keep it forever, but anything that you melt beeswax into, it's going to become one with the beeswax. So it'll coat it. It will take forever to melt it off and get it out. So just make sure that it's a jar that you are okay with parting with. I have a ton of mason jars, a lot of them that I reuse for crafts. So I don't mind using these jars to do this sort of thing. But I basically have dedicated jars that I use over and over for melting. Your coconut oil is going to melt the first. Your shea butter will probably melt second, depending on how large of chunks that you have. And then beeswax typically melts very last. But once it all does melt and combine and incorporate, you're going to want to have to move fairly quickly because it's going to solidify. And if it does solidify on you, that's okay. You can just add it right back into the water bath, the double boiler, and remelt it. So don't panic too much about that. But just know that you will need to you won't need to let it sit out on the counter for very long. And same with my chapsticks, beard balms, anything that has an oil consistency. If you leave it in your car or if you leave it in an area that gets fairly warm, it will melt. So it'll make a mess. So just make sure that, like, think about chapstick. If you think it's in a spot where chapstick would melt, then this would melt too. So just keep that in mind. You can substitute the shea butter for cocoa butter, mango butter, really any hard butters that have the same sort of consistency and feel to them. So it's up to you. As far as the coconut oil goes, you may be able to substitute it with olive oil. You could play around with that and just see if olive oil, I've not substituted it, but if you want to get creative, you can definitely try that out. Okay, that didn't take any time at all, really, maybe 5 minutes or so, but it is all completely melted and just a kind of a clear yellow oily mixture. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in some of these, this honeysuckle scent, this fragrance. Oh, by the way, while I was having this meltdown in the double boiler, I just went ahead and laid out all of my, or set out all of my little sticks here, and I took the lids off and set them aside so that I don't have to worry about popping them all off and messing with all that while I trying to pour it in, and so it makes it a little bit quicker. Now, the drops kind of depend on you. I'm probably going to add in, I don't know, I think that was like 10 drops at first. And I'm just going to stir it around and smell it. Some fragrances have a flash point, a very low flash point, and what that is it's a point in which the essential oil will basically evaporate when it hits really hot temperatures. So you lose the scent, or the scent is very much diluted whenever it hits hot oils. So you may have to add more depending on just look up the flash point of your essential oil if you're worried about that. So I didn't get a very strong scent on that. And it might be because this oil is still pretty hot. I mean, I am getting a little bit of it, but I also don't want it to be super overpowering. I don't want to be like a walking honeysuckle bush. I have this little plastic measuring cup that I've used in the past, and I just like it because it has a little spout at the end. It's going to make it a little bit more controlled to pour into these molds or into the containers. You could also get like a turkey baster if you wanted to. Just know that it's going to, you're never going to get it out of it if you're using it for food. That smells pretty good. I'm happy with that. Okay, so I am going to now pour some in here. Then I'm just going to go down the line and fill these up. So I filled up all of my little containers, but I have some left. And I'm just going to use this little extra and I'm going to pour it in one of these little silicone molds that I have. They're super cute. I use them for soap making, but they've got like a little bee pattern on them. So I'm just going to pour it into one of these, and then I'll just have like a little silicone mold of the lotion bar. Let's see, which one do I want to do? Do this one. Okay, so I had a little bit left over, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm just glad that I had enough to fill up all of these tubes. And if you can't already tell, they're already starting to set up. They're already starting to harden and become a opaque white color from the clear yellow that they were when I poured them in. So, like I said, it sets up pretty quick. I'm just gonna kind of set these up in order. And while I'm talking, I'm sure that they will harden. Man, I'm pretty proud of myself. I did not spill not even one little drop. That never happens. Let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So just to let you know that this amount that I used filled up 20 of these little 15 milliliter tubes plus some left over. I probably had enough left over to fill an additional 2, maybe 3 tubes. So yeah, 3 for sure. So just to give you an idea of how much that quantity made for these tubes. Now on to the part where I was telling you guys that I had something to share with you. I was thinking about it, and I wanted to do something as a give back, as a thank you to all you guys who have been so awesome to me and my family, all the words of encouragement, and just supporting our new page. So it's not going to be very much, but I wanted to, once we hit 10,000 subscribers, which we're so close, I think this morning we were at like 9,480, something along those lines. So we're super close to 10,000 subscribers. So once we hit 10,000 subscribers, I want to pick a random subscriber that subscribes to our channel, So if you will comment on this video, just say, hey, what's up, whatever you want to comment, I will pick someone who leaves a comment on this video for a surprise. So I want to mail you a one of these. So I will send you one of our little deodorant, not deodorant, our lotion sticks. And then also, if you haven't already seen, me and Bree made soap. So I'll send you a soap bar that me and Brienne made, the very same one that we made. So, and I have one in my shower right now too. It smells pretty good. Send you a soap bar. And also the beeswax wraps. Now, if you, we also have, I made a video on the reusable beeswax wraps. And if you don't know what they are, this is a 3-pack, by the way, so I'll send you this too. So a lotion bar, a soap, and a beeswax wrap to a lucky subscriber once we hit 10,000 views or 10,000 subscribers. So the beeswax wraps are pretty cool. They are a more sustainable version of like saran wrap, cling wrap. You could use it sometimes in place of Ziploc baggies. I have one. Let me show you really quick what I do with it. One right here. I think I even have one in here. Oh, I had one in here earlier. They're all around my kitchen. But basically, they're these wraps made with pine resin and beeswax and jojoba oil. And you can put them on containers. You can just basically use them like saran wrap, and they mold to the container just like that. And they are food grade safe. So if you basically just to cut down on extra waste, you can wrap half cut fruit, or if your kids are like my kids and they take one bite of an apple and then they're done with it, you can just wrap up the fruit, stick it back in the fridge, and it helps keep the oxygen out. You can wash these over and over and over again with like mild detergent. I use Dawn detergent, so if they get any food on them, you can wash it off with a mild soap. Just let it air dry, and it continues to keep its beeswax wrap properties. They last a very, very long time. And no, it doesn't smell like wax or resin or anything like that. It doesn't. It has just a normal smell to it. But it basically uses the heat of your hands, the warmth of your hands when you wrap it around something. That's what helps it to mold to whatever dish you've got going on. So, food product. I've wrapped sandwiches in these for the kids. Sometimes they end up throwing them away at school, so I've stopped wrapping their sandwiches in them. But for like you or your husband or your significant other, or whoever, you can create these yourself, make these yourself. And if you're interested in how to do that, I have a video on our YouTube page on the reusable food wraps. But all that to say, once we hit 10,000 subscribers, I definitely want to pick someone who comments on this video, and I will do a random drawing, a random pick, and then send you these 3 products that you can have from me to you, from my house to yours. And it's just a thank you. And I know that you guys have asked me in the past, are you going to sell any of these online to anyone who may want to buy them? The answer is we plan on doing a limited release. So I need to get some stuff in order, and then yes, we will have an online store coming eventually that will have these products available for you guys to purchase if you would like. So just keep an eye out for that, and that will be coming soon. I just need to, get my ducks in a row. But for now, I've got some things that I would just like to share with you guys, and you can make them yourself as well. It's super easy. And I hope that you enjoyed this video today. And look, they've already set up, and all you do now is you just take your little lid, pop it on. And then what I did before is I printed out these little labels. So like this little Denman Farm label. I also put this little instruction label on the back. But you could just put your own little label here, a sticker on here, whatever. You could just leave it like this. But yeah, they're ready to go. And you just twist the bottom of it up, and then the lotion comes out the top. Let's try one out. See, it's a little warm, but it'll probably work now. So you just twist it. See how it comes up like a little deodorant stick? And then you just glide it on. Glide it on your skin. You can't, it's not super moisturizing. It's not greasy at all. But yeah, I love to keep these in my purse, or keep it by your sink. So like after you shave, or, you know, for your legs. It's just, it's a really great all over body lotion in bar form. So I will keep this one for me. I will not be giving this one away. So I'll set this one aside. And yeah, I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today doing this. It was a much needed break. I will be heading outside soon to continue planting my garden. So stay tuned for those videos too, for the garden planting, because there's a lot going on out there. But y'all take care and have a great day, and God bless.